Hi everyone, this is CA Neha Gupta. I welcome you all on this channel. So today we are covering a very important topic, and the topic is if NRI can buy property in India, or if the answer is yes, then what is the process? How can he buy the properties in India, and what are the steps that he need to take care? So through this video we are covering all the aspects. Kindly keep watching till the end so that you'll get all the relevant knowledge about this video or about the NRI, if NRI buying property in India. So before starting, I have one basic thing that I want to inform you, and I want you to keep it throughout the video. So the one basic thing is NRI can buy any property in India, but he cannot buy any agricultural land, any plantation property or the farmhouse in India. I hope this is clear. An NRI can buy any property in India apart from all these things that I have mentioned earlier. So now this point will be applicable throughout the whole video. This is the exception that we need to take care every time. So now without wasting much more time, let's start this video. Before moving further in this video, kindly ensure that you are subscribed for my channel so that you will get all the notifications on time about my latest video. Usually when an NRI decide to buy property in India, there are various things that he need to take care. And the first thing that comes out in his mind is whether he is eligible to buy any property in India. So the answer is yes, he can buy the property in India. Now apart from these exceptions that I already mentioned earlier, now the point is what are the steps that he need to take care. So for this, FEMA come under the picture. FEMA gives certain conditions on which NRI have to take care, and he or she should have to apply all these conditions. I already mentioned exceptions. Now let's come to the screen and discuss about what are the RBI rules about this. So now let's start this. So first rule is NRIs can make payment for the acquisition of the immovable property. So he can make a payment. Second, funds can be received in India through banking channels by way of inward remittance from any place outside India, or debit to his NRE or FCNR or NRO account. This is very important point. NRI, if he is planning to buy any property in India, the payment should be made through the banking channels only, or from the banks to debit his NRE, FCNR or NRO account, and remittance can come from place outside India as well. So now third point is such payments cannot be made by traveller checks, foreign currency notes or other modes except those specifically mentioned as per the RBI. So now you have to open the register and write down this point. If NRI buying any property in India, then he has to follow these RBI conditions, and he cannot make payment through foreign traveller checks, through foreign currency notes or other modes. Now very important point, if an NRI buying any commercial or the residential property in India, there is no special thing he have to do. Nothing he have to do. He just have to buy the property and have to take care all these points that I have mentioned earlier. So now this is all about the process. Now let's understand what is the tax implication. So the tax implication is a very important point that you need to take care, because here in India, when you are buying any immovable property, you have to pay TDS on the immovable property. So the rule is 1% TDS. I hope you already aware about that. The buyer have to deduct the TDS of 1% of the seller and have to deposit it, and also give the challan for the same. Now if an NRI buying any residential property or the commercial property from a resident of India, he have to follow the same rule, 1% TDS. Second, if he is buying property from a non-resident of India, in that case he have to check whether this is a long-term property or the short-term. Long-term capital gain or the short-term capital gain is the basic thing that he need to check. So long-term is if the person, the seller, hold the property for more than 1 year, it comes out to the LTCD. If that person hold the property for less than 1 year, it comes out to be short-term capital gain. So in the long-term capital gain, he have to deduct TDS of 20%, whereas if it is a short-term capital gain, the buyer need to deduct TDS at the rate of 30% plus cess. So I hope this is clear. 20% plus cess in the long term, short term 30% plus cess. And the certain deduction of section 54 is also applicable for the NRI. He can take the benefit of it, but yes, certain conditions. Now very important point, the buyer must make sure that the sale consideration is not less than the stamp duty value of the property. Otherwise, the deficit of it exceed rupees 50,000 will be taxable in the hands of the buyer. So now buyer have to pay tax on it, because there is a variation with the stamp duty and the actual payment. Now the next point is the buyer also had to take care of the TAN number for the withholding of the taxes. Also very important point, if an NRI planning to buy any property in India, he can also take a loan against it, and that is up to 80% of the property value. So this is a very important point that we need to take care. If an NRI is going to plan his investment here in India, he can take a loan as well. So whenever your client is coming to you and he is an NRI, he want to invest in India, you can suggest the property option with the loan option. That's a very important point that we need to take care. So this is all about the NRI taxation and what the NRI has to take care when he's buying any property in India. I hope every aspect is clear to you. Still, if there's any query, you can ask me in the comment section. I would love to help you. Let's meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye.